Hello, Isaiah here with Cheeky Scientist, and just had a conversation with a PhD, found out some interesting information. It actually led me to dig into some financial data online and to see what's going on in academia. Some of you may not know this. I think by the end of this video, your eyes will be opened to your current situation and maybe how your reference points and where you should be spending your time might be off a bit. Okay, so I was talking to a PhD. They were very interested in their industry job search. I was going through their resume, guiding them on their bullet points, how to restructure them. Their resume was like a lot of PhDs. They had education at the top, lots of different problems. That's a whole different story. I'd been working with them for a couple of weeks, and they were really engaged, super motivated. Like you could just tell, finally, this PhD had woken up to the urgency of the situation of needing a job in industry. And that's what we wait for. Too often PhDs are kind of lackadaisical, right? They're in a lot of, they're poor, they're in pain. Their career in academia is a dead end, it's a failure, but they manage it because they're like, oh, this is challenging. Challenging situations always end up good if you work hard. No, not all challenging situations, right? Sometimes that's what doesn't kill you, damages you. It doesn't make you stronger. And that's what a lot of you are facing in academia. Anyway, this PhD had the urgency. They finally went from moderate pain to severe pain, which can be a good thing because it'll motivate you to act. They were out of a job. They were working for free. So many PhDs working for free right now boggles my mind. Just talked to them today. They told me, my department got some funding. It got a bailout. That's the actual term of what happened. I'll get into that in a second. And my postdoc was recovered. What is a recovered postdoc? I've never heard of that. Apparently it means that your postdoc funding ran out, like a lot of funding for a lot of different departments, but now there is funding, right? And this example's in the US, but this has happened in a lot of different countries. Governments have bailed out universities that are failing. They're literally going bankrupt. In Canada, there was another university with higher education, PhD students, went bankrupt, is closing. There was no bailout that could save it. Anyway, so I started looking into this data, and there's a couple of articles here I want to show. I don't know if I can flip my camera live, but this one's from the Chronicle. This is a good one to read. From the Chronicle of Higher Education. The bailout is just the start. Why higher ed needs to build a sustainable model. This is what I hate about the Chronicle. You can't even read their articles, but unless you sign in. But it says it goes on to say that that universities have received billion-dollar bailouts. So right now, if you think that my university they figured the situation out, things are reopening, everything's good, it's not. There's been a Band-Aid that's applied. They asked for like 50 billion, in this article it talks about the US, 50 billion. They only received 12 billion. So a lot of departments are being propped up by this bailout. The tuitions, the grants are not there, but they're being propped up. It'll probably last a semester. That's what most people are guessing. And this is why I want to encourage you to read more than just PubMed. Get off PubMed and ResearchGate every once in a while. Yeah, you got to finish your PhD, you got to write your thesis. Great. Learn about the world of economics. Your career is, where it is now, and whether you're working for free, unemployed, a PhD student without any job offers waiting for you when you graduate, a postdoc, because you're not learning about data outside of your niche discipline. Now, Moody, if you haven't heard that name, Moodys Investor, they've been doing investor reports for decades. This is a very rare thing. If you can see this, right? So this came out very recently, Moody's outlook for U.S. higher education sector, and it's very similar for the Moody reports in Europe and beyond, is actually negative. For them to say that the higher education sector is negative, its revenues declined 5 to 10%. There's been some refinancing debt, and it talks about everything I'm talking about with you. You need to understand that if it seems, and when I was in graduate school, the 2008 financial crisis hit, right? So all these labs shut down around me, departments shut down, but then things seemed to get better or stabilize. They were actually worse. So, this is what happened to a lot of you right now. You were in like a bad situation in academia, right? No career prospects, house of cards, folding here. And then the pandemic hit, and then, things went down to here. They went from like moderate pain to like severe pain. My PhD might get shut down, my fellowship, my stipend, whatever. And now there's this Band-Aid, this bailout. And so things go back up here, but because your reference point is down here, it seems like they got a lot better. You're like, oh, things are pretty good now. I can take a break. I don't have to, worry about where my career is going. I don't have to have a sense of urgency in my job search. Newsflash, this is extremely temporary. What happens when that financial bailout runs out for academia? The same thing that happened to me during the financial crisis. Things stay bad, grant funding stays down, enrollments into the universities that prop up higher education, the undergrad tuition stays down. You need to take your job search seriously now. Why should you take it? What's another reason to take it even more seriously? Why am I advocating for this so strenuously? I mean, clearly, right, I care about getting people into industry. That's all I do. That's all our team does, of course. So I am biased, right? I have confirmation bias. I want you to get into industry. However, industry salaries are the highest they've ever been before. There's a labor shortage right now. There's a labor shortage. We've been posting a lot of data on this. You've probably seen like gas prices, rent prices, food prices going up. Well, the only good news of that is that the industry prices that they're going to pay you, salaries are going up. The only place where prices are going down is in academia. 5 to 8%. I don't have the other article pulled up, but it's like the college and university salary human resource tracker something. But we've been posting about it. Check our Instagram page or our Facebook page. So you need to take your job search seriously. If your postdoc gets recovered, that recovery is going to be short-lived. Don't let some temporary bailout stop you from taking your job search seriously and figuring out where you're going to go, because there's no professorship waiting for you anymore. You got to take your job search seriously. I am doing, what is today, Wednesday? I'm doing a webinar tomorrow on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's one of the 4 core topics that I'm doing trainings on now. Check our websites or wherever you're watching this for a sign-up page. You can sign up for our LinkedIn profile creation, LinkedIn networking webinar, so you can get your SSI score on LinkedIn. If you don't know what that is, definitely come. Get that increased. You got to get it above, it's probably 20, 30%. For most of you, you got to get it above 60 to 70 to start being visible on LinkedIn. I'm going to cover that and a lot more. So great to see all of you here that are joining. Vania and Hunter, Siam, Jude, good to see you on. Zia, hi Zia. Kate, thank you all. Remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.